Yes. So, I'm going to give you one of the answers as to why the parenting child relationship breaks down. So that if, well, if that's happened to you, you can sort of fix it. If that's not happened to you, you can stop it from happening. Okay, what about this? This is the DNA. We're working on how to read DNA. So, right, trust and communication, right? T's and C's, right? It's one of the things that's been in terms and conditions, right? I put it in as simple terms as I possibly can. If you communicate honestly with anybody in a parenting, because you're responsible within the legal system or within the current system that we work for your child until they're aged 18. Okay, so you're responsible for them in the framework that you're in. Good communication, honest communication builds trust. It is so easy to break, very fragile, and very hard. A lot of patience um, and piecing the pieces back together and having the right materials then to help them stick. Talking about a crystal vase and super glue to fix it, right? So trust and communication. Right, I'm going to give you an example. Say that you disagree. They want something, whether it be an item, a relationship, a lot of emotional and mental um, divisions show themselves from the young person between the ages of sort of 12 and 16, right? Usually around sort of year 9 in secondary school, year 9, year 10. That's when, if they haven't been dealt with any issues, they come out. If there's been an overbearing parent, if there's been somebody who either pressures as a parent, um, or is too much of a dictator in the relationship. I'm big, you're small. That sort of, I'm the parent, you're the child, you'll do as you're told. Right? People who use that sort of language are in for a bit of a tough time. And then when it gets later and the kids are rebelling, I have to go, well, why I've been a good parent. Anyway, so I can keep saying I want to keep this simple. Right. So this is the parents' sort of lifeline. And what happens is you have a child, right? And you want that child, you want to guide them. So you want the timeline to run sort of parallel to your own, right? At least until they're responsible for themselves, right? And they can do. Hopefully you've done a good job and then they make some right choices for their own timeline. Okay. What happens in your child's life then is, let's, for example, right? Um, your child gets to be in an age where they want a relationship with somebody who you don't agree with. You have a disagreement, right? Okay. Now what happens is you've got three lines. You've got your own, there's your child, and there's the thing that they want, right? Whether it's a toy, a relationship, something that they want, Right. There's three things that you're going to do. You can push. If you push them and you're a pushy parent, you say you will do what I tell you to do, and that's pushing. You will push them towards the thing that they want. They'll be pushed towards it because you creating negative energy, and the thing that they want is the thing that they want. For them, that's a positive. So if you become a pushy parent, or if you're a pushy parent, you'll push them away. There's also the pulley parent, right? Push and pull. There's the pulley parent. Now, what the pulley parent does is they try and hold on. They try and grab them and say, "No, I don't want to lose you," right? So what they do is they hold on to them by any means possible, right? Whether that's a restriction in grounded, you can't go out, and they try and put blocks. Okay, and they try and pull them towards. So one pushes, right? "Oh, you won't," and quite aggressive, push. Right? The other one, "No, don't. It's really, and it's a submissive and a push. Right? Now, what's going to happen is that's going to work maybe for a short period of time, but the pulley parent, right, is going to pull and hold on, and when they let go, right, because either they think that they've got it under control, or they've done enough, and then twing, right, strings. They're going to pull. There you are. You're close to me. You're far away from that, and they're going to let go, and it's going to go even faster back to what they want. Now that timescales, if you pull, depending on how long you hold on and how long you put them off, but eventually, even if it's further down the timeline, right, they're going to go back to it. But what's going to have happened is, because of the pulley parents' restrictions that they've put, it's going to be traumatic, right, and it's going to turn into a trauma then, right, which will have negative effects on their future. So when something happens in their future, it's actually to do with the pulley parents' restrictions and holding on too tight, the possessive parent. Right. So what do? I'll tell you what you do. You have good communication, and this starts when they're born. Right. You don't get aggressive. You don't just give in. You have a conversation. You listen. The more you listen and the less you do, it actually works. You get to know the person. Instead of trying to create the child that you want, you listen to the person that is developing in their own right. It's one of the big traumas of humanity. Right? Is parents trying to create the child that they want rather than the person that is. Individually, it don't work. It might not show itself straight away, or if your child gets to know you better than you know them, they will manage you. If you're a pushy parent, they'll be quiet and they won't give you reasons to push. If you're a suffocating parent and you hold on too tight, and they'll give you reassurance, but behind that veil of reassurance, they'll just be waiting to get out of your grip and feel free. And then what happens is when they're no longer within your grip, the thirst and the hunger for that freedom, which has been suppressed, then leads to a higher risk-taking behaviours and a thirst for freedom in other areas. Right? So listen, be honest. If you don't agree, you can say that you don't agree, give a couple of reasons for it, and then say, I trust you to make the right decision for you, and even if they do make the decision that you don't want them to make, right, it will be short-lived, because your advice as a parent who doesn't push, doesn't suffocate them, right, they will see as they develop and their experiences grow, right, you will have given them the right information, right, and that builds trust. To build trust, you need evidence. To have evidence, you need to test the theories, right? So their experience is their test, and you don't reflect on it until it's happened. And that's how we learn. So while this is good advice for any people interaction and any humans, but particularly good for parents, is one of the reasons why I chose to work in schools instead of business, right? It's because there's so many people, right, in one place that you can try and help, and if you've got the answer, if you've got the right advice, if you've got and you approach it with the right attitude, right, you can help loads of people, right? And that's why one of the reasons I'm sharing this with you now, right? So that you can go, you can reflect on your own. And honesty, when they say you trust yourself, well, to trust yourself, you've got to be honest with yourself, right? Good communication with yourself, right? Reflect on yourself. Just because it's you, don't think that you're always right about you. That's a sort of deeper reflective personality, different sides of yourself sort of conversation. So yeah, right. So are you a bully parent? Are you a pushy parent? Right. Either way, you can adjust if you want to. If you don't, you're going to see the evidence of that, and then you'll be like later on, further down the line, when you get to a point of reflection, you'll be like, oh yeah, right. So let's be honest with yourselves, and make the adjustments. Your kids in the future will thank you now for listening. Thanks for listening. Hope it helps.